Good morning. I am so excited to share this with you today. Hopefully the sound is okay because I've moved out to my living room and it's very open out here. So I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit echoey. So if it is, please let me know because there is so much cool stuff that I want to share with you today. And my office was really dark. It's really cloudy here today. So what is this crazy challenge that I'm talking about, 100K in 100 days? Hey, Sarah, how are you? Is the sound okay? I'm hoping it's not too echoey. I've moved out to my living room and it's really open and who knows? But anyway, I need to change from the office today. So I am, let me just, that's okay. I am coming to you today to give you an update on this crazy idea that I launched just before Christmas. Okay, good, sounds good. Called the 100K in 100 days challenge. Now, when you first hear that, some people just want to hurl because the thought of 100K in 100 days, it sounds spammy. It sounds like it's a money grab. And that is so far from the truth. And I think there's been a little bit of misunderstanding around what this challenge actually was. And that's what I want to show up today and share with you what it was all about, how it started, and what the results have been. Because I know I've got so many people ask me, did everyone make their 100K? How are you going? What are the numbers? And it wasn't really about the numbers for me. So hopefully today I can shed some light on what this crazy ass challenge was, what we all got out of it. Like there were some amazing results. Now, Sarah, you were part of that challenge. You came in after a couple of weeks and joined straight in. And yes, it's been so great working alongside you. And I think that's what this challenge has become. It has become a really amazing community of support and growth and development in so many ways. I mean, the dollars were just one piece of the puzzle that we covered throughout this challenge. So I just really wanted to share what was going on. So for those of you who haven't heard about the challenge, I'll give you a quick update. If you're coming on, yeah, you're loving it. See, it's one of those things. We didn't really know what to expect when we signed up for this challenge or when you signed up for this challenge because it was a crazy idea that I had at midnight, that I shared at midnight. And yeah, it was live all of a sudden. So where did the idea start? So late November last year, I had this crazy idea buzzing around in my head. And the idea was 100K in 100 days, 100K in 100 days. Now, I didn't really know what that was. I didn't really know what it meant. I just knew that that was a goal that was going to push me out of my comfort zone. And I had this idea, but I wouldn't say it to anyone. I wouldn't say it out loud. I didn't even say it out loud to myself. It was just buzzing around in my head for ages, for about a week. Anyway, late one night, I was on a mastermind call and I always felt sick sharing the idea. It just sounded too blah. Anyway, I shared the idea and I shared it to my mastermind group. I said, look, I've got this idea that's really going to push me out of my comfort zone to generate 100K in 100 days. Now, I know for some people in online business out there, that's easy. That's a given. Like that's nothing. But for many of us and for the clients that I work with, we are aiming to that. Like we're aiming to get to that. We're finding our feet. We're setting that foundation at the moment. So for those of you who don't know me, I work as a discovery coach and mentor, and I help emerging entrepreneurs from all over the globe get really clear on their big idea, but also master the mind shit. Those stories that keep us playing small and keep us stuck, master the mind shit that stands in their way. So I knew that this goal of 100K in 100 days would push people, would stretch people. The original idea was that I was going to keep it to myself, go and set the challenge for myself, go do the thing, document it, and then share the results at the end. Now, the ladies in my mastermind said there's no way that's going to happen, Tash. This idea is bigger than just you, and you have to share it. You have to bring people on board with this idea. Now, I was terrified. I didn't know what the idea was. I didn't know how I was going to generate 100K in 100 days. I didn't know any of that. I'm just checking comments. I had no idea what this was going to be, but I knew the idea excited me and I knew it would push me. So I said yes. So by midnight, because I was on the call from about 10 o'clock, by midnight, the idea was live. I had a checkout page set up on Samcart. There was no sales page. There were already people buying. A couple of people from the mastermind, actually pretty much everyone in the mastermind group said yes to the idea and supported me and jumped in. So there was no turning back. And I think that's sometimes a really great, when we take action so quickly before we get a chance to talk ourselves out of it with the overthinking and the uncertainty and the doubt, letting the doubt and the fears creep in, amazing things can come from that. So this has been one of my biggest lessons. Just take action. If the idea excites you, you have to take action, and you can figure out the how as you go. Now, I was very open and honest that I had no idea what this challenge was going to be, but I invited people in on a Facebook Live the next morning to say, hey, do you want to join this challenge? It's a crazy idea. I don't know what it's going to be, but let's do this. Now, within a week of like doing just one Samcart page, no sales page, no funnels, no warm-ups, nothing, all the stuff we expect in the marketplace, and doing a couple of Facebook Lives, I had over 50 women worldwide say yes to this challenge. And it blew my mind. It also put kicked me up the bum to actually go and create this thing, which was pretty awesome. And it was really amazing to see everyone coming together on this sort of collective energy of people that just knew they were playing small, knew that they wanted to create something bigger for themselves, knew they wanted to get over their excuses and the reasons they were still getting really stuck on simple things that mentally they knew they needed to do, but they weren't doing them. And I think this is the problem that catches so many of us out. We know what we need to do, and yet we don't do it. We hold ourselves back, we stay hiding, we overthink things, we talk ourselves out of things, we water our ideas down. And what this challenge has shown me and everyone in the group is that when you give yourself permission to step into what it is you really want, to explore the ideas in a really safe, supportive community, and to get that kind but gentle kick up the bum that you need from someone like me, who that's one of my specialties as a discovery coach, is to move you into the direction you need to go. Lovingly, supportingly, but with some force if needed, because we all need a good kick up the bum sometimes. And that's what this challenge became. It's allowed so many people to come out of hiding, to really step into who they are, to really explore what it is they want to achieve. Now, I will get into the numbers shortly, so I'm not fluffing around that. I just want to give people that were new to this idea an idea of what the challenge was. It is not a quick get rich quick scheme. It is not a money grab scheme. It is really just setting that idea there that you can achieve more than what you're letting yourself achieve right now if you just see what's possible for yourself. And I think that's the trick. We often don't allow ourselves to look far enough ahead and to believe that these things are possible for us. We see everyone else doing it, but for some reason we stop ourselves. And I'm discovering more and more what those reasons are. So as you're jumping on, let me know who's here live. Say hello so I can say hello back. If you were in the challenge with me and you're joining me live, that is amazing. Let me know that you're here. If you are coming back for the replay and you were in the challenge, then say hi and let me know that you're here. If you're coming back to the replay and you've never heard of this before, let me know as well. Because like I said, there was no funnel into this. There was no mass advertising. There was no real marketing. It was a crazy idea, launched at midnight. I did a Facebook Live, 50 odd people said yes, and we had the most amazing time for the last 100 days. We wrapped up this week and I've decided to do round 2, and I've already got a ton of people signing up for round 2, which is bloody amazing, because I see that this is just the beginning for us. We're only scratching the surface of what is possible once we give ourselves permission. Hey, Dee's here, hello. Once we give ourselves permission to go and do the things that we want to do. Because at the moment, what we do is we get the idea, we get scared by the idea because we haven't quite figured out all the how, we haven't quite figured out the pieces, we worry what people are going to think, we worry if we're ready, if we know enough, blah, blah, blah. And we stop ourselves and we filter ourselves and we water ourselves down. And I want you guys to stop doing that. I've been guilty of that for way too long. I'm getting much better at it. Yes, big hurrahs from Deb. Deb, you were in the challenge. Deb, you were actually on the original mastermind call where this all started. And I mean, I'll be honest, I was absolutely terrified that of saying that challenge out loud, of putting that out there, of saying that, you know what, I think I'm going to do it. So Jonah, hello, I haven't seen you in ages. So excited to hear how the challenge unfolded. Yes, I'm getting to that, I promise. But I just want to set the scene for those that didn't quite understand where it came from, what it was, hadn't heard of it before, because it was a crazy idea that was such a gift to me and to so many other people. And that's why I wanted to show up and share some of the results with you today. So I'm going to take some tea and then I'm going to get into the actual results. Oh man, I love tea, especially on a cold day. Autumn has definitely kicked in here. So Deb, you're saying, yeah, brilliant idea. So many of us need this. That's the thing. When we get our ideas, we will often we overthink them. Like, let me know in the comments if you have the habit of overthinking your ideas, because I know I was a champion at that. I'd get the idea and then I would try and figure out all the pieces, and I would have, in my mind, well, how am I going to market it? What's the sales page going to look like? Who's it going to be for? How's it going to run? What are the pieces? What are the 1,000 pieces to the puzzle? And I would try and put the puzzle together before I even shared the idea out loud. Now, that is completely arse about. It's the wrong way to do it, because we never launch anything that way, or we take forever to launch it, or we launch a watered down version of that. Now, I'm not saying you go out there half-assed with everything you do. What I'm saying is, if an idea gets you and it excites you, take a step into it. Do something about it before you try and figure out all of the pieces, because I can assure you, Overthinkers Anonymous, yes. I think I've got that domain name, or I did think about getting it. There's I think that's a whole book that I could write on Overthinkers Anonymous, from not only my own journey, but the journey of pretty much everyone I work with. I have a medal in overthinking, yes. I used to say that I'm the queen of resistance. I'm getting better at that. I think I've sort of knocked the crown off a little bit, but it's definitely something that we all fall victim to. And I saw that again and again and again in the group. And especially with the clients I work with as a discovery coach and mentor, they have these brilliant ideas. They are so capable. And that's the thing. We are all so capable, and we have so much knowledge and expertise and perspective. And yet we don't see the value in that. We don't see how much of an impact we can have right now, today, with people, instead of waiting until we have everything perfected. So when you step into an idea, it does reveal itself. The rest of it reveals itself. The how to and how it all comes together and how it's going to work and how you're going to deliver it, that all shows itself once you are taking action into the idea, once you are stepping into it. If you try and figure everything out first, you can't see what the next step is, and therefore you will stop yourself. So if you take one thing away from this Facebook Live today, it is that you have to take action. You get your answers from action. You don't get your answers from your mind. So your mind cannot give you a definitive answer. Only action can. Okay, that is my quote for the day. If you take one thing away, that is it. So, okay, so when we went into this challenge, there was one thing I think people were scared about from the beginning, and I did let them know this is not about the money. Yes, some people had the goal of 100K in 100 days. I did have people coming into the group going, oh my God, I don't even see how that's possible in my world. And that's the thing, we filter off our possibility because we can't see how it's happened. We don't believe that it's possible for us. And the people that have been through this challenge have now seen that these things are possible. And that is your first step. If you can't believe it within yourself that these things are possible for you, you will not achieve them. So that's part of what we do in the challenge, is sort of unpacking that for you and showing you that these things are possible. So this challenge was all about setting the foundation around your vision, your visibility, your thoughts, beliefs, habits, so you can go and do the things you need to do to make these things happen. Now, for those of you that are itching to get the monetary outcomes, of the 50-odd people in the group, let me tell you, not everyone reached 100K in 100 days. But like I said, that was not the point of the challenge. We had so much growth and development in that group that it blew my mind. I had so many amazing messages from people just saying thank you, just saying that, oh my God, this is just what I needed. This is the community and the support that I needed to do the things that I wanted to do, or to see what I couldn't see for myself. And that was just beautiful for me. That was amazing for me. We did get some people that reached their 100K in 100 days. And at the beginning of the challenge, they sort of thought that, oh, this is a bit of a stretch, but I'm really keen to give that a go. And when they did their updates and said, yep, I've reached my 100K goal, I was so excited for them. We had people in the group that did a 50K month. We had people in the group that did a 20K week. Yeah, Deb, there was just so much growth. And that's the thing. Not everyone is ready to do 100K in 100 days, okay? But that's the whole point of the challenge, is that I want people to have that foundation in place. I want people to see what they need to focus on. It's not the next email marketing course. It's not the next Facebook ad strategy. It's not the next funnel that you need to implement. Now, those things are important, but they're important once you have those foundation pieces of belief and habits in place. Because if you're not believing and stepping into your ideas and knowing and trusting yourself that you have what it takes, then you're not going to implement the latest Facebook ad strategy. You're not going to implement the best funnel. You're not going to implement all the tools and strategies out there because you don't have the belief within yourself that it's possible. So just let that sink in. If you said to yourself, I'm going to go and earn 100K in 100 days today, like that's when starting the challenge today, do you honestly, truly, really believe that that is possible for you? I want to know. Let me know in the comments if you game. That if you say today, as of today, in 100 days, I'm going to have generated an extra $100,000 in revenue. For some of you, yes, no problem. Yes, so Deb's saying we gain the confidence to open up into it more. Absolutely, and that's the whole thing. When you see it's possible, when you believe it, and when you see what keeps tripping you up and where you are holding yourself back, then all of those layers of resistance start to fall away. And you get so much further ahead in what you're working on. And I think that has been my biggest gift for myself and for everyone in the challenge, is just for them to see what is possible. It's been amazing. So, okay, some of the results. We had 100Ks reached. We had 50K months. We had 20K weeks. I had a client in there who she tripled her prices for an existing client. And he said yes. It was the first time she offered it. And I spoke to her yesterday and she said, yeah, it was like really easy. And it was amazing. So imagine that if you had the confidence to suddenly triple your prices. Yes, he upgraded the package. Yes, she saw how she could help him grow his business even more. And that's the beautiful thing. This is all a win-win for all of us. It's not that you're just taking money off someone for your own personal gain. It's all about how can you add value to help to people? How can you get them to where they want to go? What's the gap that you're going to bridge for them? And it's a win-win for everyone. And that's what I love about this. It is not just about you. Now, one of the things that kept me going in the beginning of this challenge, when I would freak out about actually saying it out loud to people in public on a Facebook Live that I'm running this ridiculous challenge, I had a beautiful group of supporters that kept saying, Tash, this is not just about you. And when I dropped the meaning, that belief that it was about me, I was able to step forward and share it with others and bring people in and take them on the journey with me. When we get stuck in that, oh my God, it's just about me. What will people think? How am I going to figure this out? All the crap that we say to ourselves, all the mind shit that goes on through our minds again and again and again. When that happens, we hold ourselves back. When you shift that focus that this is not just about you, this is about the people out there waiting for you to show up and show them the way, to share what you know, to give your perspective, to take me, which is really frustrating because I was on a roll. Anyway, that's okay. So I was just talking about the updates of the 100K challenge. I'm going to link both of these videos together somehow. When this is finished, I will tell people, I will put a link to this one in the other one and the other one to this one so we can watch them together.
Which is really frustrating.
Oh, and I'm going to turn that off.
I was on a roll. Anyway.
There we go. Okay, Dee's back. Oh, good. You're coming over. Hopefully everyone will find this new broadcast. I don't know what happened. My Wi-Fi is strong. BeLive just had a little hissy fit and threw me out. Didn't connect for some reason. That's okay. So I was sharing the updates in my 100K challenge. This is a new video for those that were coming in to watch this one. I will put a link to the first half of this chat shortly at the end of this thread. But the 100K and 100-day challenge was bloody amazing. It was such a gift for me, for those in the group. I was just sharing some of the financial wins in the group. We had people reach their 100K in 100 days. We had 50K months. We had 20K weeks. We had people tripling their prices. I had people in there that have been struggling to get a client for probably a year, like really struggling, just not being able to make inways with getting clients. Yay, we're back. But within a few days of the challenge starting, when I gave people permission to just show up as being themselves, and this is so simple, this is the thing that we forget. We think we need to be this certain persona, this certain type of person to run an online business, to put ourselves out there. And this was a big lesson for me. I'm coming from a corporate background. I was in corporate financial services. I was a financial advisor, a business development manager. You know, I worked in high level kind of scenarios, and I had to put on that facade. I put on that mask every day. I put on the suit. I put on the mask. I wore a version of Tash out there in the workplace every day. I didn't feel like I could be who I truly was in that setting, in that scenario. And then when I left that career and I started in my own business and trying to find my own way and really starting to unravel all of those masks that I've been wearing for 15 or 20 years and really started to figure out who Tash was. Like, who are you? Like, what are you here to do? Like, who are you? It was really hard for me to show up as myself. I still had that facade. I still had those filters on. I still had those masks on. And it took a long time to unravel them and just be okay with showing up as me, sitting here in my jeans, you know, having a cup of tea, talking to you guys, without feeling the need that I had to be perfect and polished and professional all of the time. You know, I can do all that stuff if I need to when I'm at speaking events, when I'm at conferences, when I'm running workshops. I can show up as professional. I can show up as anything you need me to be, but I'm still going to be more of me than that version of me, that watered down, idea that I think people wanted to see. And that's really important. So if you, again, take lessons away, just be yourself. So one of the ladies in the group, I gave her permission to be herself. I just said, you know what, it's okay to show up as who you are. It's okay that not every piece of content you deliver has to be life-changing. Just show up as who you are. Share what's going on. Share what inspires you. Share your ideas. Just talk to people. Not every piece of, not you showing up every day has to be a piece of content, a how-to, a 7 steps. It doesn't have to give them some form of transformation. By us showing up as who we really are, and by sharing the journey that we're on and the ideas that we have and the thoughts that we're going through, all of those things, it gives other people permission to be themselves as well. Anyway, within a few days of her doing this and just going, oh, okay, I'll give that a shot. Didn't think of that. She had someone asking to be her client. It wasn't even an offer she had on her website. She said, can you help me with this thing? And can you, I want to pay you now. Because she loved the way this woman just showed up and was herself. And that is a beautiful thing. So there has been so much growth in this group, not only monetary growth and revenue, but emotional growth, personal growth, professional growth, so much growth. And it's been amazing. I wrote down some notes here of some other comments that people have had. There was another client who, the first part of the challenge is we set your vision. What is the bigger vision that you're working towards? And people would set their vision and they'd go off and do these things. And I had some questions that I outlined to really feel into what the vision was of what you were creating. Because if you don't know what you're working towards, it's really hard to know what the next step is. Just a tip. So we set the visions, and then we went on to visibility and a few other things. And a few weeks after we'd been in the challenge, I invited people to go back and watch their vision again. We'd been through some other exercises, we'd done some other work, we'd revealed some more layers and peeled back some more masks and some more crap that people were holding on to. And I invited people to go back to their vision that they originally shared in week 1. And oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about this. One lady said that she actually realized the vision that she set was what she thought she should be doing based on her expertise and her career and where she'd come from. And she realized through the work that we'd done that wasn't actually what she wanted to create. Now that was huge because she was about to build a business around a direction that didn't really excite her. It was viable financially, and that's the thing. We go after what seems viable financially, but I want you to create things that are emotionally sustainable as well and emotionally viable, because I've created businesses in the past that were financially very viable. They were not emotionally viable for me and not emotionally sustainable. And therefore, I didn't want to do the work. I didn't want to market them. I just didn't want to show up in that space, because although people were paying me to do those things, at the end of the day, that was fine for a while. And then I realized that's not actually what I want to be talking about. That's not actually what I want to be doing. So give yourself permission to figure out what it is that you want to do going forward, and be okay with that. It does not have to make sense on paper straight away. It does not have to be what everyone else is doing. It's just so, it sounds like common sense, but so many of us just fall into that trap of thinking that we need to do what everyone else is doing. I gave myself the title Discovery Coach because I didn't fit into anyone's boxes that were out there. I tried for years to fit into the labels and the boxes and the outlines of what my business was. I tried to fit into all of those things, but they weren't emotionally viable for me because I was just not enjoying it. When I allowed myself to create my own space, to let my business evolve naturally, to stay fiercely curious about what it was I was interested in, how I wanted to help people, and just keep iterating from there, amazing things have happened. So you have to be okay with that. Everyone has their own perspective, their own unique gifts and style. And that's the other thing. We need to work to our own natural style. If someone is running a business out there one way, that might suit their style personality beautifully, but it might not suit yours. So don't try and shove yourself into someone else's box just because it looks shiny and beautiful on the outside. It has to be financially viable, but emotionally viable for you as well to continue down that path. So that was a great realization for her, that the original vision she has wasn't quite what she wanted to do. And Bernie's here. Hey, Bernie, haven't seen you in ages. So yeah, one of the other ladies, when I invited them to go back and watch their vision, she actually said, oh my God, there has been so much growth just in this few weeks, or, you know, within, I think she watched it again halfway through. She actually felt sorry for the woman in the vision video. She said she could see how scared and terrified and fearful she was saying these things out loud, sharing what was stopping her, sharing what she was worried about. And she had grown so much in the time in that challenge that she said, I felt really sorry for the woman in that video, which was her like 2 months before, because she was so scared and fearful and stuck in scarcity, and so much shifted for her in that period. So these are the things that are possible when you surround yourself with the right kind of support and the right kind of people that are going to lift you up and push you along to where you need to go. So like I said, this challenge is not just about 100K in 100 days. That was the buzz in my head for the week. That was the title I gave it at midnight that night that I launched it. I didn't overthink it. There was no branding. There was no planning. There was just, this is the idea. It's come to me. I'll figure it out as I go. And I did. I figured it out as I went along. So yeah, I'll read one of the other testimonials that I got through. Natasha creates a sacred space, and together with the most supportive mastermind, it allowed me to confront fears and have the confidence to grow through them. The experiences allowed me to create a very grounded yet empowered foundation. I feel strength and self-compassion to grow my business and myself in a light, flowing and deeply connected way. If you're ready to discover and embrace true abundance, I encourage you to sign up and get ready for an incredible ride. That's the thing. I have given people so many opportunities for growth, right? From an idea, I had no idea what it was. And I think we need to remember that. I'm just getting rid of some notifications. We need to remember that when we come up with an idea that's going to help people, I kind of feel like it's up to you to go do that. If it fuels you and you're excited by it, then don't talk yourself out of it. Go and do that. Okay. So what are the other things that we achieved in the challenge? There were huge improvements in people's visibility and being brave enough to go out and step up and do the things we wanted to do. I invited plenty of people in the group to share what they're up to and do mini trainings or mini masterminds within the group so they could practice their visibility, they could practice showing up, they could get comfortable sharing their message. Because again, we think that everything needs to be perfect. We think that we're not ready to do the things that we want to do. And you're more than ready. And what that showed people is just by them showing up and sharing what they knew right now, it was able to help so many people within the group. And then they were able to go and do that outside the group and be more visible and set their visibility goals and all of those things outside the group as well. Realigning the vision. Yep, we went through that. The other thing that people started to realize is that they could bust the mind shit that was stopping them. All of the stories that were coming up, all of the excuses that were coming up, they worked out how to work through them, or they had the support there to move through that. And I think that is really, really, really important. I've been in plenty of masterminds, well, not plenty of masterminds. I've been in a few masterminds. I've been in plenty of different coaching groups, a ton of Facebook groups, and they all give you a little bit of something, right? But it's really hard to find that place that you feel really safe and supported, and that you know when you show up, someone's got your back in that group. You don't feel like you're just sort of going, oh, should I really post it in this group? And I think there's plenty of groups we can pop up at and be social, but it's really hard to find a community and a group that's going to have you back, where you feel safe and supported throughout this journey of growth. Because growth is uncomfortable. Growth can be messy. Growth is not this beautiful sort of scenario that we go through. It can be pretty awful sometimes, but when you're supported and when you know that someone's got your back and you know that people in the group have been on the path like alongside you, or they've been there and they've survived, then it's much easier to do what you need to do. So yeah, let me know in the comments, especially if you're coming back for the replay, that you were here, but let me know in the comments if this is resonating. Like, have you got that support group around you right now where you know that you can jump in and get the support you need straight away? Now, I've paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for masterminds. I've paid hundreds of dollars for different groups. I've been in a lot of free groups. And I think this challenge for $100 for 100 days, $1 a day. And again, that number just came to me because it was neat and tidy, around 100, 100, 100. People are saying I should be charging a lot more for this, but I'm not. I'm really just creating a space for people to show up and to get the support that they need. Yes, I work with people on a much higher level, a much deeper level, but not everyone's ready for that. Not everyone's able to invest that kind of money into their growth and their development. And I want to be that really supportive first call for them. I want to help people set that foundation and really see what they're here to create and know what's possible for them going forward. So I'm opening up round 2 for this challenge. I'm going to pop a link in here, and then I'll go on and share some more of what's been going on. So if you are interested in joining, then come on in. If you are curious and you have questions, then just let me know. Ask the questions in this thread, or send me a private message, or email me at natasha@natashavanzetti.com. There have been so many great relationships formed within this group, so many ahas that have come through, and people are now stepping into what it is they really want to create. They're getting new clients, they're creating new offers, they're seeing what's possible for them, they're getting over the mind shit that's stopping them. One of the videos that I did in the group recently was on my seven habits for growth. And again, that was just a culmination of the habits that I've developed that are going to help me, that have helped me grow my business, that have helped me grow into who I am today. And I'm sharing those again on my page next week, or I'm doing a webinar next week for anyone that wants to join that as well. I can pop a link in for that as well, because the 7 habits of growth are really important ones for you to be aware of. I share them within the group, but I also think that's really valuable for me to share outside the group publicly. So I'm doing that in a webinar. It's not a webinar, it's a masterclass. So we all jump into Zoom. You can talk to me. You can be off camera if you want. You can be on camera. Like, we'll just have a really good discussion, because what I've learned about the way I work is I love showing up like this. I love sharing. I love knowing that people are out there listening and hopefully getting some value from what I have to say. But what really makes my day is being in front of people, either live in a room, which I'm going to create more of that this year, because I really got busy with all the online stuff last year and I've missed that interaction. I've missed that face-to-face interaction with people, or showing up in a Zoom room or a group call with people. That's what I love. And that's what really fuels me. So yeah, I'm doing that masterclass next week as well. Sasha's here. Hello. Sasha is doing some amazing things over in Perth. So glad that you are here. I've been giving people an update of what my 100K in 100-day challenge was all about. And it's broken up into 2 parts. My first video dropped out on me for some reason. So Sasha, be sure to go back and watch the replay, and I'll link up to the first part of this discussion as well. But I think it's really important that when we have an idea that excites us, that we know can help people, or you're just really curious about it, if anything, then you have to go for those ideas. You have to really go and implement them and see what happens after that. Because I truly believe that our ideas are a bit like our children. We can nurture them, we give birth to them, we can nurture them, we can support them, we can feed them. But at the end of the day, they will take on independence and a life of their own. And it's up to us to release them into the world so they can do that. Because we don't know who our kids are going to become. We can support them as much as we possibly can, and we can guide them, but at the end of the day, they're going to be independent human beings out there in the world. And I kind of believe that our ideas are like that as well, that when we have an idea, it has to be birthed and nurtured, but set free, so it can take on a life of its own. Because I had no idea what this challenge was going to become. I had no idea how it was going to unfold. Let's just say I'm much clearer this time round for round 2. I'm much clearer about the path that we're going to take and where I can put additional focus in for people around their habits, beliefs, their thoughts, to really support their growth and really set that foundation in place, so you can go and implement all of the strategies that are out there floating around. So you can go and implement the ideas that you have, so you can take action even when it scares you. Because I think that's the scary thing that we all forget about, is we get the ideas, but we're too bloody scared to do anything with them. And we're too used to listening to the mind shit that keeps us small and keeps us watered down and filtered down and hiding in the corner. So we can pretend we're busy, we can pretend we're doing all the things, but if you're really, really honest with yourself, just ask yourself, are you playing a big enough game with your ideas? Like, are you fully coming out of hiding with who you really are and who you want to be? Let me know. Because I know I'm not. I'm still in hiding for part of it. It's a habit of mine that I'm unraveling and I'm replacing, but it still creeps in. And these habits they creep in, don't you worry. But we're working through them together to figure out what those triggers are, to figure out how we can unravel the mind shit that stops us from doing all the things that we want to do. I think I will share one of the 7 growth habits with you, and that is ownership. So the first habit of growth is ownership. So we can have all the excuses, we can have all the reasons as to why we haven't done what we want to do, but until we take ownership of our situation, until we take ownership of the decisions that we've made, the choices that we've made, and the ownership of the fact that, you know, where do we want to go? What is our future that we want to create? Until we take ownership of that, we're going to fall for the same excuses. We're going to fall for the same bullshit and the same mind shit, and we're still going to keep ourselves really small and really stuck. Now, ownership comes without the guilt and without the blame. It is purely just stepping up and say, yep, I take full responsibility for getting myself to where I am right here, right now. Now, ownership also gives you, yeah, it's scary, but it gives you empowerment to make decisions that are going to fuel your growth going forward, rather than just keeping you stuck and keeping you safe and keeping you small. So yeah, ownership is a huge part of the piece, that your success plan going forward. Now, I don't care how much money you want to make. I don't care what the business is you want to create. I had one of the ladies in the group that actually said yesterday that her vision is actually to pull back her business. Her vision, like, she was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and she was getting massive big jobs and big proposals coming into her saying, can you do this kind of job? Like, huge and worth a lot of money with high profile people. And she found it hard originally to say no to those people because they were high profile and they wanted her expertise. But what she realized is she didn't actually enjoy doing those. Those big jobs actually burn her out a little bit. And she's actually realized and given herself permission to pull back and to create something on a smaller scale that's going to sustain her emotionally, still sustain her financially. But she thought she wanted to go really big, and she realized when she was there that that wasn't actually what she wanted. And that's the thing. We need to give ourselves permission to do what feels right for us rather than what we think we should do. Or, you might see a need for something and you feel that need, but then you realize that's not serving you financially, like physically or emotionally. It might be financially, but is that all there is to life? If I was just after the money, I would have stayed in my corporate job because the money was fantastic. The perks were pretty good too. But emotionally, it was killing me. And it was not sustainable. It was not viable for me to stay in that environment. I was so far away from who I truly was in that job that each day a little piece of me died. Now, I'm not sounding, I don't want to sound dramatic, but that's kind of the reality of what it was. I was such an empty version of myself, and I finally walked away from that role, and it took me years to figure out why. My battery's running out. That's not good, is it? So yeah, that is what I wanted to share with you today. So I hope for those of you watching, thank you for staying on. I really want to spread the word that this 100K in 100 days challenge is not just about the money. I'm going to kick it off very soon because I did not bring my power cable out, which is a big no-no. This challenge is not just about the money. This is about your personal and professional growth and a really supportive environment in a collective space that's going to give you what you need to help you grow. So please share the love,